Tell me when you see the numbers going down there. Yep, 1,000. That had Q&A animated title. Hey, Ms. Mara? Alive, thank you. Oh, where's my phone? It's going to go off. I don't even know where the damn thing is. Hello there. This is Douglas Block. I'm an author, depression counselor, and depression survivor. Welcome to your live chat number 17 here on a beautiful Friday afternoon in Portland, Oregon. At least it's beautiful for the next 5 minutes until the rain starts coming again. And yeah, we've had some really bad weather recently, and I think I'm live. Yes, show's right there. So far, nobody's watching. Come on, guys. It's normally supposed to be at 12. I made it at 1 because I had to work with somebody. So probably some of you have decided it's not happening. But I decided to do this at 1 o'clock, even though it was originally supposed to be 12. Well, anyway, I guess I could start off since we don't have any questions yet. Hey, Lee McQueen, nice to see you. Yeah, sorry this was a little bit unannounced. Elsie, Free Bren, Puma, okay, got a couple of people viewing here. So, I should start with a joke. No, yes, I'll start out with a joke. Why did the patient quit seeing his acupuncturist? He was tired of being needled. Oh my God. Oh, did I really say that? I'm sorry. All right, well, hey there, says Greg, Evelyn May from Hawaii. Hi, Douglas. Again, any question you have on mental health recovery, depression recovery, anxiety recovery, drugs, antidepressants, ECT, TMS, the whole gamut. I've been studying this for 50 years. I've been working on myself 50 years, a number of hospitalizations. I've learned the hard way. I've learned the intellectual way. I've gone to college, 2 colleges, masters, bachelor's, bad video sessions. Well, I'm sorry, I got a little message that says bad video settings. Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often. I'm not quite sure what they mean by that. Can you guys tell me if the settings are okay, if you're able to talk to me? I got some sort of message from YouTube that there's bad settings here. When do you get when you breed an elephant and a rhino? I have no idea, Chris House. I'll talk until you let me know what the answer is. Everything looks okay, says Josie. Great, thank you so much. I don't know why I'm getting these bad video settings alert from the live stream, but oh well. So I just did a video yesterday. I posted it on my channel. I'd like you to all look at it. It's called Nurture Yourself Through Your 5-Minute Daily Check-In. And what that's about is spending some time each day for 5 minutes, breaking out of your normal routine, getting up away from the computer or taking a break at work or at home, and just spend 5 minutes checking in with yourself to see how you're doing, what you're feeling, and most importantly, what you need. Picking sounds okay. And elefino, not too bad. When you cross an elephant and a rhino, you get an elefino. All right, I love it. So, why is it important to take 5 minutes each day to check in with yourself? Because when people are depressed or anxious, they forget to take care of their basic needs. They forget to eat. They forget to drink. They forget to relax. They sometimes even forget to sleep, especially if you're manic. And so by taking 5 minutes each day to get in touch with yourself, it's really, really critical. It's like hitting the reset button on a computer. Okay, Lee says we have some questions coming in. Let me go over here and put my cursor here and then move this aside. I've had a bad crash last week and it's affecting my concentration, social skills, and anxiety is a nightmare. I feel like people in the class realize I hope I can get through. Of course you'll get through this, Lee. You always get through this. That's the whole point. This too shall pass is my favorite saying in depression recovery. It always does pass and it will pass. So please take heart to knowing you will come through this. How long should one be on benzodiazepines? I'm hoping to be off board doing natural remedies for anxiety. Dave Pickell, hey, I just went ahead and got one of your posts. Sorry you've been having a hard time. Good to see you too, Dave. So Evelyn May, try to stay on benzos the least amount of time as possible because, they do have the potential to be habit forming. That being said, I was on Klonopin forget this, 9 months in 1997 because I was having anxiety attacks every day, and it really horrible. And I took a half a milligram every day when I started to lose it. When I got better, I stopped the Klonopin. No bad reactions, no withdrawal. So, if you're taking low doses of benzos, you could probably stay on them for up to a year, but talk to your doctor about that. I'm not going to prescribe for you. I try to do check-ins for my mindfulness practice. It's very, says Elise, helpful. Yes, Elise, thank you so much. And mindfulness practice is essentially a check-in practice. You sit down and you watch your breath, notice what's happening with your thoughts. If your thoughts go away, you bring them back to your breath and just become aware of how you're thinking, how you're feeling. You can tune in with your body. That is a check-in, at least. So anybody who has a mindfulness practice, I know there's a guy on my website, my channel named Brian W., who always is talking about the power of meditation. I wonder why he doesn't come in for one of these chats, but he's like, whoops, and see, there's the phone I was supposed to try to turn off. Well, we'll just have to listen to some, in the background, some, I forgot his name who did Hips Don't Try. Someone tell me. Very, very famous person who does Hips Don't Lie. And Shakira, there we have it, came to me. Well, hi, Doug, says Jeff. Maybe Carson, do you have any OCD tendencies? Not really. I get obsessive about things. My mind gets locked, but not really OCD, not in the way that I've heard about it, where you just, you overthink, overconcentrate. In some OCDs, you're afraid to, leave without the house without checking your locks. I'm going to get that phone and turn it off. Don't go anywhere. I will be back in a second. Okay, back again. We go to phone. We go to off of here. We hit home. Okay, well, anyway, at some point I'm going to put the sucker on. Come on. No. That's not it. Okay, sleep. Thank you. All right. Maybe says hi. Jeff Daly says hi. So, yeah, check-ins coming from Southern California. Lee McQueen says those Inderal might need replacing with something else. Doctor refuses to give me Xanax. How can I give me some? What's wrong with Inderal, Lee McQueen? It's not working. That's a low blood pressure medication that can really help with anxiety. Hi, Dave. Hi, Mamie. Hi, Jeff. So, Lee, or Lay, I'll call you Lee. Why is the propranolol not working? And your doctor should. You see, some doctors are really paranoid of benzodiazepines. They shouldn't be. They should not be paranoid. They're okay when needed, but some psychiatrists are convinced they're the worst thing in the world. I don't know how you can convince them, Lee, but why is the Inderal not working? Doug, do you know of any online chat groups for people in my stage of life? A lot of the college kids are very pretty outside. What do you mean by your stage of life, Dave? How old are you? Let me know that. Shakira, thank you. Great guess. Well, she's no longer playing. Thoughts of marijuana and depression? It says Dennis Hewitt. I haven't heard from you before. Oh, yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about marijuana and depression. A lot of my people in my groups use marijuana specifically for anxiety, not so much for depression. But there's one person I just talked with who said he's been using it for depression. So marijuana is a psychoactive drug, just like pills. And marijuana reacts differently for different people. So, it's legal in Oregon. People can use it. My feeling is I'd rather go with a psychiatric drug. But if marijuana helps, if you use it and it helps you and it helps you feel less depressed or less anxious, then why not? As long as recreational marijuana is legal. If it's not, then of course you're breaking the law, and that's the risk there. So, in answer your question, Dennis, people have used marijuana for depression. To rebound, I seem to have only limited amount of energy, so I don't know what important things to prioritize. I seem to get strong aches, chronic fatigue when I do things. Well, 3 Brent, have you looked into chronic fatigue? That is an autoimmune disorder. Maybe there's something you can do. Maybe there's some naturopathic things you can take, ginseng. There are treatments for chronic fatigue. If you don't have a lot of energy, what's the most important thing? Getting food, eating, making sure you do the laundry, the basics, what are called the activities of daily living. Those are the most important things to do. What has been my longest depressive episode? Let me see. I started when the sperm hit the egg, and now I'm 68. So what is that? 68 years and 9 months. That's been my longest depressive episode. I love my coffee. Of course, I was just joking, Mike. but I have been suffering depression since the beginning. But 18 months has been my longest. It felt like 20 years, of course, right? So depression support groups, 63. Yeah, just go to depression chat groups. I don't think everybody there is in their 20s or 30s. I should recommend some depression chat groups online for you, which I haven't done. I'm 68, you're 63, we're in the same generation. So, Dave, I have people in my support groups who are anywhere from 20 to 72, and I can relate to all of them, and all of them can relate to me. Age doesn't seem to matter. When you're struggling, when you're suffering, when you're suicidal, when you feel no hope, when you have no energy, when everything is a big task, it doesn't matter what age you are. So I can relate to younger people, older people. I got a man who's 79 years old who I become friends with, who suffers from depression. So, and he's 11 years older than I am. So we're all different ages. I'm 35. Yeah. So different ages don't matter. We're all united in the same common thread of we're struggling with our mental health and trying to feel better. That's the common thread. So that's what's important. Lee says, I only ask him for Xanax twice a year because of his resistance to give me. Then he makes me feel like a drug. Well, don't let him guilt trip you, Lee. Some psychiatrist, oh, hey, Amber Rogers, nice to hear from you. Aren't you supposed to be at work in 15 minutes? You can't be playing hooky at work just to see me. Well, ask a question as long as you're playing hooky from work, but maybe you're on the way to work. Anyway, Lee, there are some psychiatrists I know. My psychiatrist in 96, 97 gave me Klonopin every day, 0.5 milligrams. And I know others. So your psychiatrist has a particular prejudice against benzos, and many do, so I'm not blaming him. He's not wrong. It's just his priority. Prescribing is an art, not a science. So, if you really feel you need it and he's not helping you, try find somebody else because other people would be more receptive. In the meantime, do the things I talk about in one of my videos, how to rewire your anxious brain, do deep breathing, put your head in a cold water, do intense exercise. That's the best thing you can do. Oh, 7-1 says, I have really bad panic attacks, something to think of dying. Something can stack attack without drugs or alcohol. The grounding techniques don't work. I have a video on panic disorder that you might want to take a look at. The bell worked. Oh, Scott, yeah, the bell worked. You got it. So Scott Bauer went ahead and he subscribed to the channel. And what happened was the first time he didn't get an alert when I came online for a live chat, and then he went back to the page and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, and this time he got an alert. Isn't that right, Scott? So that's what you got to do if you want to get alerts. Dave says, yes, that's true. These young kids are great, wise and honest. Yes, I know so many millennials. My goddaughter, who's like a daughter to me, a real daughter, she's 27. My nephew on Joan's side is 27. A person in my group who just joined is 26. I feel really comfortable with people in their late 20s. Let me see what else is happening. Younger kids, great resources to help us with less technology oriented. Says Mandy. So getting back to 7-1, you should go find a therapist or psychotherapist who specializes in panic disorders. I know there are other things besides grounding technique. What about jumping up and down in place, or running around the block, or doing something intensely physical? The other thing is fill a sink with cold water, hold your breath, and stick your head in the cold water. And that sometimes stops anxiety. I should have gotten I need my throat lozenges. So Doc, basically never truly goes away. It's always deep down until something triggers it. Well, it is buried, Scott, but from 1997 to 2015, I had 18 years with a lot of joy. So even if it's buried, even though it's always there as a possibility, you can still have joy in between. By the way, I just noticed there's a little dollar sign at the bottom of this thing. That's the super chat button. Many people have been generous the last couple of times, giving $4, $5, $10. You click on that button, you make any contribution you want. You're question will be highlighted, and you will know that you are helping mental health recovery spread to people who most need it. Hey, Julie Hayes. You're feeling worse? I don't know if I should go back to the hospital. I'm feeling I don't want to be here anymore. Oh, so Julie, can you call the crisis line? Is there anybody you can connect with in your environment? Do you have a group you can go to? Can you call a friend? Can you talk to your husband? Is there somebody you can reach out to, somebody in your environment for right now? If you really feel that you might be hurting yourself, you do need to go to the hospital. But maybe there's something you can do to tone down that page. Just, tone down the volume, because suicidal feelings only come when think of a scales. I have this in my book. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you in my book. You have a scales, and the one side is coping skills, and the other side is pain. And when the pain becomes greater than the coping skills, that's when you feel like you want to take your life. So let me see right here. I'm trying to. There it is right there. Well, it's hard to see, right? Can you see that scale there? I guess you can, right? There's a scale right there, and one says pain, and the other says coping resources. The pain is further down. So when the pain is too far down and too strong, and you don't have enough coping resources, you're going to feel suicidal, and that's going to be really problematic. So try to get up to Julie. Try to attract some more coping resources to you. You're with my husband. Well, is he helping you out? Maybe he can give you a shoulder rub. Maybe you can do some deep breathing together. Maybe he can take a walk with you. That always helps. Hey, Bashar, nice to hear from you again. Greg says, I lay in bed a lot of hours, and then how can I come back to surge? Have someone call you up. Have a support person roust you out of bed, or better yet, even come by and say, hey, we're going for a walk today. One of my clients who is retired, 65 years old, had two other retired people. They'd go to his house once a week. They'd literally break down the door, get him out of bed, and they'd take a walk up to Angel's Rest in the Columbia River Gorge. By the time he climbed 1,500 feet, he was feeling like $1 million. So pain versus coping skills. Yes, that is it, Dave. And if you go to my website, healingfromdepression.com, and you go look at coping with suicidal thoughts and feelings, you'll see that diagram in there. Or better yet, get Healing from Depression. How many of you guys have this book? It's only $15 on Amazon.com, or $10 with a Kindle if you have Kindle. I spent 12 years working on that book. I put everything I knew into it, and it still holds up as far as I can see. Julie, what are you experiencing is totally normal in recovery. Days are a turning point for some reason. My worst days are a turning point. Go to the hospital if you need to, but take heart, sweetie. You're doing good. Thank you, Mamie. That was really kind of you to say that to Julie. Maybe you guys should exchange email addresses and find a way to connect with each other when we're not having this chat. We all need peer support. It takes a whole village to shepherd somebody through a dark night of the soul. So, you need to know that peer support is the greatest thing. We all need psychiatrists, we all need counselors, but more than that, we need each other. I have a gal, Holly, who's probably listening in at the gym. She reached out to a younger person in the group who was really doing poorly, spoke with her for 2 hours after the group, and really made a difference. In my support groups, it's the connections that people forge outside of the group that make the huge difference in recovery. We do. LOOs. You saying you and Julie communicate? Well, that's fantastic. Dave Pickell says he has the book. Thanks for writing it. Hey, Dave, how is the book? Give me a plug, will you? That would be great. Evelyn Prang, I don't think I've ever talked with you before. What about a WhatsApp group for us all? I don't know how to do a group on WhatsApp, but I am doing a Patreon page, and for certain donations, I'm going to be having small private chat groups meeting once a month, like a little online support group, which I'm going to be creating. After 9 depressive episodes, I've become stable, and I've managed to live quite well, but my doctor doesn't want me to go back to work. I'm 52. I'd like to then live on social benefit until retirement. Well, what do you think? Do you like the idea of living on Social Security? Then you can volunteer work, Evelyn, and because maybe work is too stressful. It's hard to get Social Security. And are you in England, or Great Britain, or the UK, or are you in the United States? In the United States, it's hard to get on Social Security disability, but if you've had 9 depressive episodes, you have a paper trail, you can probably do that. So, yeah, I mean, I went on Social Security before my official retirement age. It really helped me a lot. It gave me a stable source of income while I could do this work and other things. So no shame, since you've been through so much pain already. Amber, when you're recovering, Doug, you will have some bad days. And I don't see what else you say. Well, yeah, of course, I have dips. Everybody has dips. They're called dips. People can doing really well, and then out of nowhere, they have just a bad, terrible day. Their brain just had a brain fart. They just basically, something got dysregulated in the brain, and for one day they're anxious. So, Julian, remember, feelings aren't facts. Wow, Chris, that's fantastic. No, feelings are not facts. When I was suicidally depressed, I said, I have no life after this. I'm doomed. And people said, how do you know you're doomed? We think you're going to get better. No, I'm doomed because I feel I'm doomed. Every fiber of my being says I'm doomed. But guess what? I was wrong. My brain was playing a trick on me. The feelings I had of doom and hopelessness were not the facts of the situation. So Chris, you're absolutely right. If you are feeling horrible and there's no hope, don't trust that. That's your brain playing a trick on you. Somebody had, so Evelyn, you're in Germany. Well, check it out. They must have Social Security disability in Germany. I know that people get disabled by depression in Germany, just like they do in the UK, just like they do in America. Amber says, okay, yes, we do have our dips. Let me see. Can't connect with any of your group if I cannot make it to Portland. When you say connect with any of your group, you mean by email? You mean develop relationships with people in my support group? Sure, I can ask people if they'd be willing to connect with you by email or maybe by phone. Why don't you call into my group one time? Do you have either FaceTime or Skype or WhatsApp? You could kind of do a guest appearance in the group for 5 minutes, let them know who you are, and that might be a nice way to introduce yourself. So we've had people who are in the group who are absent who just participate in the group by Skype. So let me know if that sounds okay. Send me an email. It's douglasblock@gmail.com. And how am I going to show you my email address? Well, I got to get rid of all these books here. Here we are. Is that? Can you see that? Yeah, douglasblog@gmail.com. Write me, Dave, and ask me. Oh, here's a book. It's called Crosby's Dictionary of Riddles. Let's see what it says here. What did the prisoners say when the jail was flooded? Would someone please bail us out? Oh, I don't know. Did I really spend $10 on this book? What is the jungle commandment? Honor thy parrots. Those were terrible. Would someone please bail us out? I don't know. They tried, didn't they? Hey, that reminds me of I was walking by a beautiful lake in Portland. It was more like a pond, and there was a sign that said, parking for frogs only. All others will be towed. Okay, stop while you're ahead, Doug. Thanks for your email about that, by the way. Yes. Scott says, Dave says, I'm going to dip it maybe a little fraction, lifting a fraction today, hard on me, my patients. Hey, Dave, you got to have what they call in the Bible long suffering. Depression is not for sissies. Mental illness is not for sissies. They're not for weaklings. We have to be tough. Nietzsche said, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. So we need to hang in there, with all our strength, because this too shall pass. Have you had substance due to anxiety or depression ever? Seems to be shocking, poorly understood. Yeah, well, you're right, Scott. It is poorly understood, but there's something called depersonalization and derealization, which are dissociative episodes. I know nothing about them. I've never gone through them, but there are some practitioners who do. So I hope you can check that out where you are. There's got to be somebody who knows, or check out the internet. Arcade Cup. Hey, nice to see you again. Tell me again, are you in the UK? Yes, Skype. Well, just felt a lift of his spirit. Yes. Be in touch with me by email, Dave. Hi, Doug. I still want to force a response out of someone, but I heard advice of let her come to you. I set up a date with someone who wanted to meet, and she ghosted me. We hung in person before. I'm not quite sure what that means. You might have to explain to me what happened. Someone basically you went out with, and they didn't. Did you do your joke, Doug? I just read 3 of them. So I go to the pond, and there's a sign that says frog parking only. All others will be towed. That's the joke. Evelyn May, Julie, I have felt that way too. I'm here for you. You are loved. Don't forget that. Yes, and Julie and I actually spoke on the phone, and we had a great conversation. And Julie did a beautiful thing. She sent me an image of a phoenix, which I'm going to cut out. And next chat, which is Sunday at noon, my time, Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to have that image of the phoenix that Julie made. What an amazing artistic thing you did, and show it to you, because the phoenix is my symbol of recovery. It represents death and resurrection. Anybody who has been in a major depressive episode knows all about death and resurrection, like the book of Job. Long suffering. Thanks. Being understood is healing. Yes. Are you kidding me? Long suffering? Oh my goodness. I was in the hospital for 25 days in 2016. I have notes. I had my session today. I'm suicidal. I want to end my life. It was despair after despair after despair after hopelessness. I have a journal of 25 days in hell, but I'm alive. I came out of it, and now I'm resurrected. You need that type of tenacity to survive these things. And I had visitors, and I had the therapist in the hospital, and I had a group. I didn't tough it out by myself. No, that's an American myth. The rugged individualist. Screw that. It's all about community and connection. Thomas, where's your favorite holiday place? I don't go on holidays. I work too hard being a savior. That was a joke. I love to go to visit my brother in New York. I grew up in New York. It's fun. And when my parents were living, I used to visit them in southern Florida and swim in the warm ocean. So those are two places. And I've gone to Hawaii many times. I mean, Hawaii is awesome. Anybody in the West Coast is going to go to Hawaii, right? I'll talk to you soon. I got to get to work. Thanks. Amber, have a great time at the where you work, and you're doing wonderful stuff with those kids. And I guess we're going to meet on Monday. Amber's one of my coaching clients. We meet over the phone for 30 minutes a week. We go through healing from depression 1 week at a time. It's really awesome. It's very helpful to people. Yes, Arcade Cup says, Douglas, we were setting up a day to hang out. I picked a place for her, told her. I got no response. I left a voicemail. She vanished. Wow. That's horrible when people are unreliable like that. You can't conceive of that? Well, it happened to me, Dave. So, look, in my depression support group, people say they're going to come. They don't show up. Sometimes they leave without paying me. People can be flakes. So, unfortunately, this person you were going to hang out with chose not to be there. Now, you could pursue texting her or emailing her, and if you get a hold of her, say, what happened? Hey, I was depending on this, and see what happens. I'm really sorry that happened. I know what it's like myself for people to bug out on me and to not follow through, but not everybody is reliable, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately. But there are people who are there. There are people who will come through. There are people who will stick with you. There are people who will follow up on their commitments. You just need to hang out with those people. Scott Power says, yeah, I'm in the UK and I suffer from DPDR as a result of BPT. I'm going to volunteer at my local mental health group to educate them a little bit about, well, good for you, but Scott. Hey, okay, can any of you send me an article or a link? Here it is, douglasfogg@gmail.com. Can you send me an article about depersonalization and derealization? I'm really, really totally ignorant of that. And so many of my viewers on YouTube and so many people who read my books and so many people who send me emails are suffering from this. And I got to educate myself because it's really not very well understood, like you said. So, yeah, I meant your situation, how you managed. Well, I managed by the grace of God, Dave. That's how I managed. I don't know how I managed. I just know I managed. So I'm glad I did. I need to find a throat lozenge. I don't see any around here. I'm not going to get up and walk to the other room. Maybe Joan. Hey, Joni, are you there? my partner in crime, Joan Block. For how long have we been together? Since 1984? 33 years. Not too bad. No, really. I mean, Joan is like my partner in the groups and helps me when I'm writing. It's good to have another person in your camp, or more than one. All right, so keep the questions coming in. I did a video on Monday of this week called "Would You Rather Be Depressed? Would you rather have cancer or be depressed?" It was a provocative title. It's really a silly title. Why would you have to want to choose between the two? They're both hell. They're both life-threatening. They're both terrible. And yet, there have been people in my support group who've had depression, who've been diagnosed with depression, and say it's better for them because then they get sympathy and love and acceptance from people. But when they're depressed or they're psychotic, people run away from them. So it's horrible that depression is much more stigmatized than cancer or heart disease or diabetes or asthma or even addiction. There's even more stigma about depression and addiction, and addiction is pretty heavily stigmatized. Do you feel like there is a way more information than used to get help? Oh yeah, no, I say there's never been a better time to be mentally ill than in the 21st century. Kind of a strange joke, right? But um, there is so much more knowledge and awareness about mental health, about spirituality, about healing, about wellness. Right now we're in a state where there are things that are being published now and broadcast on YouTube that used to be secret. They used to be arcane knowledge. It used to be only in the mystery schools. Only a select amount of people on the planet were privy to this knowledge that we now have. And now it's there for everybody who chooses to walk the path of healing, of health, of spirituality. And we have new treatments for mental health issues like transcranial magnetic stimulation, which has saved 2 of my patients who were treatment resistant from drugs. We have ECT, despite the controversy. It saved my mother's life. It saved my life. We've got all sorts of alternative things out there, amino acids and therapies. So yes, there's a lot of information now that there weren't when I was growing up in the 50s and 60s. What did you have then? You had Thorazine. That was about it. Antipsychotic. And then maybe you had, what was it called? Imipramine, right? Tofranil. That was about it. I read an article of a woman with cancer and anxiety. She said cancer was way easier. Yeah, that's my point. Hey, Joni, can you give me one of those lozenges from that drawer over there by my desk? Yeah, it's when you talk nonstop for an hour, your throat gets kind of scratchy. So, yes, so she said the cancer was easier. Well, I can understand why. Now, that being said, thanks, dear. Joan's going up to massage, by the way. If you want to talk about self-care and, taking care of yourself, which is what my whole recovery program is, you guys should be getting a massage at least once a month, those of you who can afford it. And if you can afford it once a week, that's even better. I mean, especially people with anxiety, talk about relieving muscle tension. It's amazing what a good massage can do. It gets blood flowing to your muscles, to your cells, breaks up toxins. Drink a lot of water after your massage. Does anybody here get regular massages? I want a show of hands, or at least type something in. So yeah, maybe I understand why people with cancer feel it's better to have cancer than be depressed or anxious. But depression and anxiety do not take your life, and cancer does. So ultimately, cancer is more life-threatening and ultimately more serious. So if I had a choice, would I rather have cancer or be depressed? I'd rather be depressed, even though the hell I've been through for all these years, it hasn't killed me. And I know a lot of good people, a lot of emotionally healthy people who have died of cancer very young, and that's a tragedy. 3 Brent says I have a DP and DR, that's depersonalization, derealization, but not from borderline personality disorder. I'm in the UK. Well, 3 Brent, why don't you send me some articles, or send the other person? I forget who else in this chat. Scott Bauer. Why don't you guys connect, Brendan and Scott, and exchange email addresses and talk about how you're dealing with DP and DR. That would be great. 3 Brent says Scott Wayne was triggered by Nytol and Prozac. I've had it on and off. It's linked to my anxiety, stress too. The more stress, the worse it is. Yes, stress will make everything worse. No question about it. So we have to find ways to cope with stress. That's why massage is good. Mindfulness and meditation, someone earlier talked about that. And really important to take care of yourself. I've only had 1 massage in my life. It was awesome. Well, Josie, okay, we have something called the East-West School of Massage here in Portland. You can go there, and for $15, you can get a massage from a student in training. Are there any massage schools where you are? Are there low-cost massage therapists? Maybe you can save up your pennies and get once every 6 months. But you should get more than once a lifetime, especially since it was so beneficial for you. I love getting massages, says Mamie Carson, especially my head being rubbed. What do you like about your head being rubbed? I mean, right up here? Yes, you can massage your scalp. Now, the real thing to get rubbed is your feet. There's something called foot reflexology, which has been around for centuries, thousands of years. They say that every nerve of every organ in your body goes to your foot. So when someone does a deep massage of your foot, all your organs and every part of your body is getting massaged. Has anybody here had reflexology? It was really big when I was in the 70s when massage was coming of age. That's where you had a friend was in the program. Okay, Josie, so go back to the program and have another person do the massage for you. Just a reminder, the super chat button at the bottom of the screen, if you want to click on the dollar sign and give some tithing to this channel, that would be great. Oh, Mamie Carson. That's the third contribution. Mamie is amazing. What a philanthropist. No, I mean, really, this is the third contribution you've given me. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here and for being a part of this conversation. Dave says, I'm worried that I've been depressed all my life, but my friends say no. You were fine for this episode. I want to believe that depression has pessimistic narrative. Of course. When you're pessimistic, you see through a glass darkly and everything looks bleak. And it's, your judgment is not to be trusted. That's why I made a video that said, don't make any major decisions when you're depressed. My nephew, oh my God, lovely, lovely person, 36 years old, Sam, break up a marriage, heartbroken, loved this woman. And one day he calls me up. He says, Doug, I have a perfect solution. I'm going to sell my house in Washington. I'm going to take my 8-year-old son. I'm going to yank him out of school, and we're going to travel Thailand together. Oh, with my old girlfriend to boot. Now, you know what? There's something in Meshuggah that says, there's something in here that says Meshuggah, which means crazy, right? What a crazy idea. And he was serious. His depression polluted his wisdom and his judgment and his vision. Fortunately, his father and his aunt and myself, his uncle and a friend, we all said, no, you don't want to do that. You can't take your son out of school. Hey, thank you, Josie, for $2. That was very kind of you. So, yes, we were able to talk him out of making a bad decision because depression warped his judgment and his view. So, yeah, Dave, you remember, you have been well and you will be well. Oh, Puma 84, I didn't see your comment. It's my fourth session getting accounts for anxiety and depression, something I've never done in the past. Will I see any changes because we've always been the same way? Oh, are you kidding? A good counselor, a good therapist is worth their weight in gold. When I came out of the hospital in January of 2016, I did something called DBT, Dialectical Behavioral Therapy. You should all do it. If you can find a program to get in, it's 6 months, once a week meeting with a group for 2 hours and once a week with a counselor. All these amazing strategies to help you have mindfulness and mental health. Anyway, my therapist in that program for 6 months was a godsend. I would not have been able to recover from the hospitalization if it had not been for her. And then I got to see her another 6 months because I got to repeat the program. So yes, the right fit, these people can be completely invaluable. So please continue to see your therapist. It takes time to build up a rapport. And like a marriage, it's all about fit. But if you have a good fit and you have a good counselor, it's a really wonderful thing. You can't find the button. Dave, are you on a cell phone? If you're on a laptop or a desktop, the button is right at the bottom of this chat. If you're on a cell phone, I don't think you're going to be able to find it. You may have to wait till you get home. So what can I tell you? I can see it. Super chat on a mobile device for some reason. Oh, so maybe, are you saying you can see the super chat on a mobile? Oh, you can see it on a mobile device. Yes. Well, Google is that's a limitation. You cannot see super chat, which is what we've been talking about on a mobile device. So that is really a shame because most people, half my clients, half my viewers watch my YouTube channel on a mobile device. So what are we going to do about that? Right into Google, they want to change. But if you go to the website, healingfromdepression.com, all my pages in the lower left-hand corner, they have a little, I'll show it to you next time. They have a little colored circle that says click here to donate, and you can give your $2 or $3 or $5 on my website. So I'll actually bring that next time. Thank you for validating that you can see super chat on a mobile phone. Yeah, it doesn't show if you're on a computer. Gray square button with dollar signs. Very good, Josie. Thank you so much. I take it you were able to make your donation because you were on a computer. I'll do something else. Buy Doug's book. He's great. Thank you, Mamie. How far have you read in the book? Have you read the personal memoir where I talk about how I survived a depressive episode, or have you read the clinical part? So, Dave, if you want to do something else, go to healingfromdepression.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page and look in the lower left-hand corner, and you'll see a donate button. Or you can just pay me by PayPal, douglasblog@gmail.com. That's how you get a hold of me. That's my email address. You can just send me some money through PayPal. You bought 2 or 3 books. This guy's an anchor for me, Well, thank you so much. And where do you live? Do you live in Vancouver, I think? You live up in Canada? Because if you lived in Vancouver, Washington, you'd come across the river and be one of my groups in person. But I think you live in Vancouver, BC. We have about 10 minutes left. I'm going to break a little bit early at 50-minute mark because I have a consultation with somebody who knows something about Quicken. It's important to be organized in life. You got to keep track of your finances when you're depressed. It's hard. So I have an application I'm learning that it automatically downloads my transactions, my banks, my checks, my credit cards, and organizes everything for me. When you're self-employed like I am, you just don't get a W-2 and hand it to your account. You have to keep track of your expenses, your income. If you're writing your office and your house off at 21%, it can be quite complicated. And this program is making my life a lot easier. Got it? I'm in. Oh, what do you have, Dave? You got my donate button on my website? Let me know. Bashar, nice to hear you. Do you have any tips on how to get things done when you're so tired and depressed and feel like, what's the point? Oh my God, that is such a good question. Drink about 5 cups of coffee. That's what helps me. Seriously, nothing like a good stimulant. Some of my clients are on Adderall. That's the only way they get done. I have someone who's in a PhD program. The only way she can publish papers or write pages is on Adderall, which is a stimulant for ADD, which her psychiatrist prescribes to her legally, and it helps. So you may want to talk to your psychiatrist about Adderall, and see if he or she is willing to prescribe that for you completely legitimately, not, getting something off the street or doing without supervision. In the meantime, I would try to go outside and take a brisk walk and get some oxygen in you, or have someone call you up and coach you over the phone to get moving. But it's really hard when you're exhausted and depressed that you want to do anything. You can see the Super Chat on a mobile phone. Click Live Chat on the bottom. Super Chat is on the right with a gray $sign. Huh, really? Okay, I don't know. I've never been on a mobile phone doing these things, so Live Chat on the bottom. I think I'll go ahead and I'll sign in on Joan's phone and look at myself, and maybe that'd be a way to do it. The book is really good and hope-giving, says Dennis. Are you talking about healing from depression? Doesn't cause anxiety, says Lee McQueen, and some people it does. So if you have an anxiety disorder and you're trying to use coffee to get yourself more energized, you run the risk of having more anxiety. That's absolutely right. Coffee doesn't get me anxious for some reason, but it does other people. So it's like every psychoactive drug. One man's meat's another man's poison. Scott Bauer says, I'm going to put healing from depression on my Christmas list. It's see if I can find some DVDR for you. And just Google it and see what comes up that you think is valid. Okay, so you see Super Chat on a mobile phone and click Live Chat. Super Chat is on the right with a gray $sign. All right, I will try that next time. Thank you, Greg. And all those of you who have a mobile phone, just click on Live Chat at the bottom and you'll see the Super Chat $sign. Evelyn May says, coffee helps me as long as I don't have 2 or 3 cups a day. Yeah, so Bashar, coffee is a natural antidepressant. It's a natural stimulus. It actually has polyphenols and antioxidants. It's actually not too bad for you, really, like green tea. So try drinking some coffee, but not too much, and don't drink it to the point of not drinking water, which is the best thing for you, and also food, which a lot of depressed people don't do. So I don't think it's interesting about this cancer versus depression thing, which is worse, and the one woman who said a friend of hers had anxiety and cancer and said, cancer was better. It's crazy. This is how much suffering we can get into with these mental health issues. Still don't see Shep. It's not there in mine. But maybe didn't you just donate to me? How did you do it without the super chat? I drink tea. Does that help me too? Yeah. Green tea and black tea have caffeine, not as much as coffee, but they also have antioxidants. They're very healthy for you. Green tea is ridiculously healthy for you. So, Bashar, drink Earl Grey and black and green tea. It's all good, and you might get a little bit of a boost from it. How much did you book on Amazon? I'm going to buy it. Well, the Kindle edition, if you have an Amazon Kindle, and you can download a Kindle for free on your laptop or on your iPad, which is I have both, or on your computer. I have 3 Kindles. It's $9.99 US. Downloaded as a Kindle edition. As a paperback edition, it's $15.64. But I've seen my book in the past for as little as $1 used. Actually, 1 penny. God, is that humiliating? Having a book you put your life into sell for 1 penny, but I think all those books have been gobbled up. So it's about between $10 and $15. Not very much when you think about it, considering a therapy session costs between $80 and $125, and a book is something you have with you always. Not just my book, but any self-help book on mental health or anything else. Books have a lot of information packaged in a very small packet, and it lasts books are just a wonderful technology. They will never get outmoded. I don't care how many ebooks we have. There's nothing like holding a book. Where did I put that book? Holding a book in your hand, right? And opening it up, right? And looking at pages and underlining things. It's just tangible. I like hard copies, says Lane McQueen. Well, guess what? Healing from Depression has never been published in hardback, so it's not going to happen. Oh, you do therapy online with Talkspace? Mamie, go ahead and email me the link to that. A penny for your thoughts. Very funny, Greg. That's great. I like that. What did the person say when they bought Douglas Block's book to Douglas Block when they bought his book for a penny online? A penny for your thoughts. Brilliant. I'm going to say that for my next joke. Scott said, I used to drink 10 cups of coffee a day and overdose on odd days. I wonder, not ill than I am. 10 cups of coffee, Scott. That's way over the top. Please, please. I hope you don't go back to that. Greg, nice. Yeah, that was very Greg. That was the best joke of the day, really. Much more so than I did. All right. Again, Crosby's Books of Riddles, Pal's Bookstores, $10. What did the termite say to the tree? It was nice knowing you. Oh. Oh my God. Where is tennis mentioned in the Bible? Where Joseph served in Pharaoh's court. Get it? Pharaoh's court, tennis court. Come on, guys. Be awake. Catch the joke. Come on, you're not that bad off. Okay, Mike B says, my doc mentioned ECT. However, I've read a whole bunch of stories of online mess up people's memories, attention, cognition. No. Don't listen to that stuff. Good jokes. Yeah, thank you, Mamie. Now, Mike is a client of mine. He knows. He's gone to my website. He's read my my videos or seen my videos on ECT. I don't know why, but ECT is so maligned, and I'm sure that there have been some people who have had memory problems. I had short-term memory loss when I was in the hospital getting ECT. I wasn't able to remember some of the people who saw me, but my mother had it. I had it. 2 doctors had it. A social worker had it. I've had about 10 people in my group. My mother and I, that's 12 people who have ECT, and it's been a 100% success rate. Everybody has been helped. Some miraculously. One woman who had 3 suicidal attempts. She only survived because one of her counselors found her in her house, OD'd, and called the ambulance. She did 1 set of ECT treatments, 12 sets, 12 days at OHSU, Oregon Health Sciences University. That was it. Depression gone, anxiety gone. 2 years later, get married, remarried, and has a wonderful life. So don't tell me the ECT is bad for you. I've seen too many success cases. That being said, everybody has a bad reaction to, someone has a bad reaction to Prozac. Someone has a bad reaction to Zoloft, Paxil. I was flipped out on Lexapro and Effexor. So there's no doubt in my mind that ECT can be harmful in some cases. However, we're looking at cost benefit, right? If you're suicidally depressed and you try a treatment that works 80% of the time as it does, isn't that worth the risk? Sure, 20% of the time it might not work or might even make you worse off, but you're in hell right now, brother. Your life is untenable right now if you're thinking about ECT. So the potential benefits definitely outweigh the costs. So I don't know if that answers your question. Evelyn, may I have your book, Healing from Depression? It was worth every single penny. LOL. So you spent many pennies and you got many thoughts. $15. How many pennies is that? 1,500? So you got 1,500 good thoughts from that book. That's a lot. You should write them down and send them to me. Thanks. That makes me more hopeful. I didn't realize your doctor. You and I talked to him last week. You're feeling a little bit better. Why would you get ECT now? That's only if you're suicidally depressed and you're going back to work next week. So I'm not quite sure why you would get ECT at this moment. Hey, Scott, writer, musician, advertising, film, coffee is the lifeblood. For what? Just for being functional? Perhaps. Hey, these YouTube live chats. I love doing these things, but I have a lot of things. I'm doing a couple of new video streams with not video streams, video posts with affirmations and quotations. I've written 2 other books. I'll tell you guys about Words That Heal, and I'm with you always. I've got a bunch of projects on my hand. I'm helping one of my clients who had relapses in the hospital. I can't even, there's not enough time to do everything. So I'm not going to be doing live chats on Fridays anymore, but I've streamlined my schedule every Sunday and every Wednesday, 365 days a year, or every week of the year, 52 weeks of the year. I will be doing these live streams from 12 to 1 Pacific Standard Time. Sunday afternoon, where a lot more people seem to tune in, and Wednesday, because it's halfway between Sunday and Sunday. So twice a month, live chats for you guys, Sunday and Wednesday from 12 to 1, just letting you know. You got it right, good luck. No coffee for anxiety ever. Well, yeah, well, if you, maybe if you have anxiety and coffee is too stimulating for you, I completely understand. That's, you should avoid it then. Only way to flies. Arcade Cup, thank you. I love that name. How do you get that name, Arcade Cup? I know what a penny arcade is. I don't know how you got it together with cup. So, any final thoughts about mental health recovery? I hope you guys are going to have a good weekend. In America, tomorrow is Veterans Day. I don't know what we're going to do to celebrate it. Some places have been closed today. Portland Public Schools is closed. But just remember 3 things. Depression is treatable, number 1. Number 2, there's always hope. And number 3, people do get better. There is life after depression. And even if you have 5 serious suicidal episodes like I've had and 5 hospitalizations in between. See, if you add up all the time with the depressive episodes, maybe a year, 18 months, maybe you've got 5 years. That sounds like a lot. But I had my first episode when I was 18. I'm now 68. That means 5 years of being depressed and 45 years of not and having a good life. That's a 9-to-1 ratio. That means 90% of my life I've been feeling decent or sometimes even great. So it's worth the struggle. It's worth the suffering. And I do have dysthymia, which is low-grade chronic depression. I have a good video on it. So, it's hard for me to ever get too happy. But like Eeyore the Donkey and Winnie the Pooh, I do have my moments of joy and ice cream. Oh, that's right. The play. Go watch it on HBO. It's called Every Brilliant Thing, about a man who keeps his mother alive by writing down all the things that make life worth living. I saw the play in person in Portland. It was the best damn thing I've ever seen. And the first thing on his list of Every Brilliant Thing is ice cream. That's number 1. And, watching a sunset. You should make a list of your brilliant things. And next time we tune in together, I want you to hear from you things that make your life worth living, even in the midst of depression. What is it that makes you want to get up each day and keep on keeping on besides sheer gut and grit determination? You watched what last night? You watched Every Brilliant Thing on HBO? Yeah, feel for the creatives. I don't know what was a borderline thing, but Scott, I guess this is my last live chat and I love it. Thanks. What do you mean it's your last live chat? What does that mean? Face fearing over the top, hope, inspiration, information. Does that mean you can't tune in on your first live chat? God, Dave, I need glasses. I thought I said a lot. See, pessimist people with depression are overly pessimistic. You wrote first, I saw last. Every Brilliant Thing. You saw it, Josie? Am I right? Am I correct? Did you watch it on HBO? I saw it live. The guy who did it live in Portland, Isaac Lamb, kicked butt compared to the guy in Britain who did it, but it's still such a great play. Thank you, Doug. Everyone, you're wearing glasses. Yes, I am wearing glasses. That means I'm blind as a bat. Ooh, there must be a good pun there somewhere. Let's end on a pun. At 53 minutes and 40 seconds. It's 1:56. I got to get ready for my 2 o'clock check-in. What? Oh, I can't find anything good. I like this. What did the little magnet say to the big magnet? I find you very attractive. There you have it. Humor. It's on HBO. Yes, I saw that it isn't live on HBO. Goodbye, blessing. So when I stop streaming, this live chat will continue. See you on the next. Fingers crossed. Sunday at noon. So if you people want to chat with each other and exchange email addresses or contact information, you can continue to do this after I'm off the air. this live chat thing will be going, and you will be able to continue to post, I think, for at least 5 or 10 minutes. You're late this time. Well, don't worry, Amy. I'll be back on Sunday at noon Pacific time, which is 8 p.m. UK time. And meant keep hanging in, never give up hope, of course. All right, that's a good way to end it. Evelyn May says it right. Never give up, never give up. That's what the Dalai Lama says. This too shall pass. Nothing is permanent, say the Buddhists, say the scientists. The only thing constant in the universe is change. Socrates says, don't worry, because if you're having a good time, it'll end, it'll be bad, but if you're having a bad time, that will end and become good. So impermanence can give us hope when we're in hell, because we know that hell is not forever. Please don't give up, everybody. I can tell you from my own experience, I have been in one hell of a fix. My clients have been in one hell of a fix. My mother has been in one hell of a fix, and we all survived. So just, stay healthy, take care of yourself, and until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you so much.